I dare to talk about something, that is totally out of my uh, grasp of understanding. Yet, I can't avoid trying to talk about it. Yeah, yeah. Hard to avoid. What is that statement? Fools rush in where wise men dare to go, but wise men don't fall in love. Huh. So being a fool, not a wise one, I'll rush into it. Nowadays, you can see uh, only deception. Only deception. And deception means that our vision is being taken away from something that is really important. Considered important even by Krishna. Considered important. Our progressive, and it is a slight progressive entanglement. And Einstein uses the word entanglement because he found the word here in India. Entanglement. Yes, you're entangled. You're shackled. You're entangled. It's not a nice word. Shows that you're wrapped up, entangled. Our entanglement only, as Bhakti Rakshaka Sridhardev says, it only consisted of pride. For some reason, which is inexplicable to me, because I'm suffering from it, I'm wrapped up in it. I had the pride to think that somehow or other I was better than Krishna. So it wasn't lust, anger, envy, this, that, and the other, so many 32 emotions and everything. It wasn't that. It was just some prideful thought. Maybe some, just like a quick prideful thought. So at that point, not only Krishna, but everybody that's observing you would get a little upset at that prideful thought. So it's better to put the guy away someplace where he can develop his prideful thoughts. So from that prideful thought has developed everything that I'm trying to enjoy. And as I've said before, in Satya Yuga it was very small. So of course the reaction, the whole atmosphere was very conducive of just going back to Godhead, and that's it. But because of that pridefulness in my own abilities, Krishna says, I'm the ability in man, not you. Right? Just that. I'm defying Krishna's words in the Bhagavad Gita. I am the ability in you. Just by taking that or trying to take it away from Krishna, I've created such a mess. So if I've been here since Satya Yuga, at least one Satya Yuga, if not uncountable Satya Yugas, and I failed, and now I'm in Kali Yuga. Looks like I got demoted. One time when I was a kid, I was in 4th grade, and the teacher got mad at me and sent me to first grade. I got demoted only to first grade. But I liked it because I knew everything in first grade, so I enjoyed it. And after a few days, I was in the same class as my sister, Gail. After a few days, the superior head nun, Catholic school, nun came down and said what I was doing there. And I said, well, my teacher sent me here. He says, yeah, but it's only for one day, get back up there. I wish it was the same going back to Godhead. It's only one day, get out of here. Oh, well, whatever. So I've been demoted. Oh, man, and here I am in Kali Yuga. And I can verify, put a stamp on it, at least one Satya Yuga in all the ages I have failed, if not more, which is probably what I've done. So, it's not just me, but I've got so many friends here that I can look at. Some of them are going up, some of them are going down. So, just so many friends they solidify my position in this world. Coming back to the subject matter. Deceptive world. And the deception isn't really controlled by any one person, but it is like amplified by that pride. That pride that does not glorify Krishna, because I can be prideful also, being a devotee of Krishna. That pride that does not glorify Krishna is amplified more now than any other yuga. More. And we have less abilities. In other yugas we had so many abilities, but still, right now, we have to be contained, because if we're given any ability, we'll use it against others. That's all there is to it. So we have to be contained by Mother Nature to settle us down and somehow or other turn our face towards Krishna. Okay? So right now, anywhere around the world, you got so much deceptive ways. And the deception is, this bomb is put here, and so many economies going down, and the deceptions of the reality of what is happening. You got a personal reality. I got a personal reality. So what is important in my personal reality? So that I want to know what has given so much energy to this deception. So it must be something that aggravates Krishna, or doesn't make him too happy. Bhagavatam is Amala, it's pure. And the personalities talked about in that Bhagavatam are talked about in a pure way. So not diminishing the position, but it has to be clarified. Brahma, when he's asking for his powers to do the creation, Krishna at the end tells him, you'll see me later on. So in the 28th cycle of this yuga, that promise was being solidified. But Brahma didn't recognize him. Or he couldn't recognize him because of some prideful thought. So he came down and he disturbed Krishna in one of his wonderful pastimes with his cowherd boys and calves and everything. And of course the cowherd girls are hiding but watching. So he came and disturbed them and stole the cowherd boys and the calves. Somebody'd have to tell me. I don't know if he disturbed also and stole the girls too. He may have, because they're also spying on Krishna. Although not visible, they're always spying on Krishna. So, Krishna had to expand himself into all the living entities that he had stolen. And that's the beautiful part, because all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, even the cows, had a direct association with Krishna, who had expanded himself. But then you have to look at the result. Was this satisfying? Was this planned by Yogamaya? Was this planned by Mahamaya? Was this planned, So it can be said, this wasn't in the planning. The script was being read, but the actor didn't act right. So Krishna does expand himself, and at the end, Brahma realizes his great offense. And at that point, he comes and bows his heads down to Krishna. But it doesn't say Krishna was satisfied and happy and hugging and this and that. And don't worry, it was only my illusory energy or anything like that. He said, no, I got some pastimes to do. Could you leave? You're disrupting them. He disrupted it. If one thinks of all the ways that Krishna has acted in the Bhagavatam, in fights, in leelas like Ras Leela and everything, I would have to put this at the maximum of dissatisfaction to Krishna. That a child is disrupted. A child is lost a whole year of association with Krishna. That may just be a year, but for that associate of Krishna, it's thousands of lifetimes to even lose sight of Krishna for a while. So he didn't take it lightly. Putting that into our situation, our situation now is that I can't even count them. Kids are being absolutely tortured to the max for looking, and this is the irony in all this, because the living entity is looking for prem, real prem, That real prem comes at the point where I fully, consciously disconnect from the body. Fully, consciously disconnect from the body. I can still function with it, but I have become disconnected. So that in yoga is extremely high. So this is the irony, that nowadays, even in some countries, if you're born, you're already cataloged. And the catalog is Are you good for what we're going to do? Or are you not so good? Every child. As many as they can put on AI are cataloged. Are you good? Or are you not good? So, what is this benefit they're looking for? They're looking for, this is the irony, they're looking for that position where they can detach themselves from the body. Now, this isn't unusual. This is what Timothy Leary was studying, and even Sudam Brahman was part of his league in the, Kool-Aid. They put LSD inside of Kool-Aid. So they were testing this out on so many people and trying to find, because it doesn't always come, because it's in taking some drug, it's like that. It's a certain state of mind where you willingly give up the body. And when you willingly give up the body, the memory where you were not incarcerated comes. Understand? I remember when I was a soul. Maybe I can't see or feel or anything like that, but I can have that happiness, that elevated happiness of when I was just a soul. This is the point that they're looking for. This is the point, this is the irony. Instead of just chanting Hare Krishna, doing it naturally, they have to go through such a system to get to this point. So, that consciousness that invokes it's an eternal thing, you're still with it, but that consciousness invokes, I could say, past position of not being in a body. It's invoking it, and you remember it. That ecstasy is the maximum. So those people that are progressively using children to artificially enter into that state, can you imagine? That's what it is. They want to be in that state. They know this exists. It's been studied so much, but nobody can capture it because it's like bringing you the closest you can to your real self. And they can study the movements of the mind. They can tell you all the different frequencies of the mind and everything. It still isn't going to give it to them. So what they've done, your child is born. Your child is put on the AI. It doesn't even have to be put on the AI. But most of the kids are being put on AI. So then after that, someone is following the development of the consciousness. I'm trying to put a description, and I just asked from birth until 10 years old. But actually the child, even within the womb, has different developments of the mind. The parasympathetic mind, and then also the amygdala, and they're also calculated, but I just started from birth. You can look up other things, how they're, because there are aborted children, right? And then there are children that are being followed. They want them to live. But why? they want them to go through the different stages of conscious development, or you could say conscious entanglement in this world. An aborted child, very little conscious, you know. I think, well, I actually, after 3 weeks, parasympathetic starts showing up, you know. So there is some consciousness, but very small. But now, I'm born. And, excuse me, just wait a minute. Just a quick reading of it, you know. At infancy, and that's birth till 2 years old, the baby, he's only connected with the 5 senses, strictly just to the 5 senses, and how that's for mostly for protection. Then the awareness becomes more, another conscious platform, where the infant learns the world by sucking, grasping, touching, looking. So if one says, okay, the 5 elements, and now he is becoming aware of what is called the subtle representation of the 5 senses by this sucking, grasping, and looking. So he's getting bound more. And then around the 8th month, 8 months, they are, those are just months. Sorry, excuse me, guys. Okay. Yeah, months. Okay, so now, come on, give me a break. Okay, now in the 8th month, they realize objects still exist even when hidden away from you. So this is even more subtle. Then here is the stage that they like. I'm talking about the people that are torturing kids. This is self-identity, where he's really involved. They begin to understand they are separate beings from the Craviews. No, they identify themselves. And then develops trust and mistrust. Now from early childhood, now we're already at early childhood, the symbolic stages there from 2 to 7 years. As the children enter this pre-operational stage, their consciousness expands to include imagination and learn languages. Still not as good as they would like. Then the symbolic thoughts. They use words and imagination to represent objects. And now they understand that everybody sees, hears, feels exactly like they do. The theory of mind around 4 to 5 years old, they start realizing others have some different thoughts to theirs, conflicting thoughts. Here it is. The child understands you are not fully supporting of him. You've got something against him. Developing a sense of personal control, initiative, versing guilt, directing play, and so on. Okay, now, In middle childhood, it's called the logic stage, known as the creative operational stage. That's after 7, remember? Concrete logic, children can develop problems related to physical objects, such as understanding the conversation completely. The amount of liquid stays the same regardless of the container's shape. They can't figure that one out. So now, I'm just scrolling down because there's so many different stages and they're great stages. Yeah. So now from 7 to 10, logical thought, concrete reasoning, and perspective taking. That's it. They want this stage. They want the child to live at least up to 7 years old, and the highest is 10. So now they take the child, consciously they take the child, they take the child and they're following him. And they can even, and it's considered, we're only studying the mind of the child to see how he develops it, to help him out, and this and that and the other. But their object is not so honest. Their object, they want that substance that had developed all the way up to that 7th year. But they want it, it's like having a cake and then you haven't got the icing. So they want the icing placed on that cake. Krishna and his friends, they were definitely over 7. Definitely over 7 years old. Because they were out with the cows. Before they were only out with the calves. So, some calves were there probably. So, this is the ultimate of all stages. Let's get the child at that stage. But we want him to enter that stage where you willingly, and you at first he says, man, you're not agreeing with what I think, or you're not agreeing to go along with, it starts going, I got to treat these people a little bit different because they're not agreeing to what I think. So now he's from 7 to 10 years old. Best time. That's the harvest time. But the harvest time has the icing. I'm saying this in a calm state of mind. But it's not a calm statement. It's not a calm statement. Somebody may want to go into that stage. Okay, they take some psychedelic medicine or something like that. Or some people even commit suicide and they live through it. And they talk about that stage coming over them and how wonderful they felt. Of course, they broke a few bones and everything, thrown themselves off a building and they didn't die. But still, that was such a beautiful time of their life. Most beautiful time of their life. That detachment. Self-detachment. So to reach that self-detachment, the entity, the child, has to want to get out of his body. Because if you go a little bit further after the 10th year, it's difficult to bring him to this stage. So we have to get him before he gets into that 10th year of development of consciousness. See, it's too hard to bring the person out of that. So you can either take a gun and tell the kid to start run. I'm saying, trying to say it in a nice, calm way. You can take the kid and tell him he has to run or else you'll shoot him. And as he's running and breathing and losing energy and everything, it comes to a point where he can't run anywhere. He can't escape the torture. I mean, this is only one way. They have developed some good torturing ways to do it. They call it the suicidal stage. They even got a name for it. Oh, this child is in good condition for suicidal stage. So at that point, they, in a very unfeeling way, they call them, we harvest him or her. So that's what they do. They harvest the child. Meaning, bring him up to this stage, make sure that he just gives up completely. This is real control of the mind. I mean, not just control of the mind, but physical machines, seeing the reaction in the child, and then you take his life. You have captured that feeling in his blood. So, you can go to war and everything. There are some international Jews, sorry, but the Israelites don't follow them. Okay, the international war laws, we have international war laws to calm these people down. This would be against those international war laws to a heaviest extent. So I can see Gaza being blown up and the people in pieces and everything, and even the people torturing them and this, that, and the other. But this is the max. No use wasting your time on these other things. But with this, I just say, Krishna, even if you have to destroy this world, go ahead. Because it has come to a point that to pick out the individuals that are doing it, pretty difficult to do such a thing. But it's just come to a incomprehensible point of pride. So it is. And I'm going to steal the spiritual existence. And I am going to enjoy this spiritual existence. That's it. I'm going to enjoy. I'm going to steal the spiritual existence. You can blame it on a certain group of people. Oh, it originated with the Canaanites. No. It didn't originate like that. It's the development of pride. And it is in all of us. In some extent, it's in all of us. Maybe to a lesser extent than others, but it's still in all of us. Yeah. So you can tell me that, what is it? Gold went up to $6,000 an ounce. You know, you can tell me all these things. Oh, Gaza. Oh, Iran. Oh, this. Oh, that. I don't think that these are the main point. And the patchwork to try to mitigate these wrongs is like you're wasting your time. I'm not telling not to try to look for peace, but the intoxication that they have developed, there's no medicine to take it out of their body. Those that have developed the taste of that blood that has gone through so many stages, and then lastly, the stage of giving up the body, you cannot take it out of their mind. You can't take it out of your mind. They will do anything for it. Anything. You could be a drunk, still you can give up being a drunk. That intoxication, no way. Because the DNA of that child is within them. And you can imagine how many childs that they're putting in, how many DNAs of childs, that they're putting into their system. There's nothing. You can't say, oh, we'll put you in jail and that'll do it. No, it's not going to do it. It's not going to change them. And they'll only think that we're foolish, not to even try it or to look badly upon it. It's saving lives. They live longer, they're happier, and the other guys are struggling. Oh, it's a very good thing. And you're not going to convince them otherwise. The only thing left for Krishna, and they've pushed him into the corner, the only thing left is annihilation. So I say, Krishna, even if it is to annihilate myself and, loved ones and everything, do it. Because it has reached such a climax. And the people that have been in touch with it are so intoxicated, so mad, they're insane. Sorry to say it, they're insane. Not sorry to say it, but it's the truth. They're totally mad, insane people. Totally mad, insane people. They don't need some Epstein files. And they know it. They could easily take those persons who have done this, take their blood, and inspect their blood. That substance of feeling yourself leaving this body and connecting with another body, spiritual body. They can't connect like that, but that is put into that blood. They could easily just inspect their blood. They don't have to look at some Epstein files and so many crazy things like that. No, there's no reason for wasting your time. Just go and take a blood sample and look at it. You're claiming to be this, and we see that you have they've ruined their body. You can't, I'd really have to think of some way to take the DNA. If I associate with another man, and any of his substances that contain his DNA enter my body can't take it out for the rest of my life. So the Vedas say 125 years you'll have to go through before you can get rid of that. In other words, you're supposed to die. Yeah. It's the only way to get rid of it. Even if it was done as abuse by an elder, even whatever way, no matter how you've done it, that is within you. And it's a heavy drive. Don't even try to measure or try to compare that small thing, and it's a very minute thing, of loving a man when you're a man or loving a woman when you're a woman. That is nothing compared to taking the blood of a child who has come up to that stage. Is nothing compared. You cannot have any confidence in that person once the result is obtained that he has done it. No way. No way. Just no way. No necessity of Epstein this, Epstein that, and revealing this and revealing that. No. No way. It's a part of cannibalism. It's like the part of cannibalism that is the highest. And I was listening to some Christians, and they were saying that actually this world has gone through many times this cannibalistic, reference, people liking it. And when it develops all the way up to the stage of the brain, this is in past history, when it develops all the way up to the stage of eating or trying to extract something from the brain, it's self-destructive. Your brain cannot assimilate what another person's brain has assimilated. Or the mad cow. When they got the mad cow thing over there in England or UK, they traced it out to feeding the brain of a cow to a cow. And the cows went mad. So here are two Christians talking that it's happened, and it's like you could program it. It's going to happen. If you get into the cannibalistic way, the logical thing is, I want to think as good as this other entity, so I will eat their brain. What to speak of taking their blood at such a high energy? In time, they will become extinct. In time. But problem is, many leaders are doing it. It's being ordered online. It's being brought to their houses. Just ask your big government leaders, would you like to take the test? You see the guy running away, something's up, Something's up. I mean, you want to know if the leader is like a drunk and he can't control himself and this, that, and the other. But this is beyond that. They're not to be trusted at all. And if you have, out of the discovery, the soul is always trying to discover. If you have, out of the initiative of discovering and conquering, done it by and now are regretting it, just realize that you're going to live with it until death. And accept it and be friendly with it. Don't continue doing it, but accept it. And because in the end, it's not without feeling, but in the end, everything, it has a spiritual state. Everything has a spiritual state. It's not the energy of Krishna that I'm going to try to destroy or get out or not like that. No. And that is the illusion that covers us. But to be on the safe side, those that may listen to this, I'm sorry. I not like an enemy of yours. I'm talking in a friendly way, that if you have participated in this type of orgy, you could call, trying to jump the gun without qualification, trying to feel something that mimics, it mimics yogic transitions, or Kundalini transitions, or Bhakti Yoga, Prem Bhakti, it's really, don't think it's not an attractive thing. Especially when somebody is doing it and wants others to do it, it is super attractive. Yeah, it's super attractive. But I hope Krishna takes a hard hand on this and diminishes it to a point. Again, cannibalism has been diminished, and he can do it. So instead of running into so many minutes, I'm not your policeman. I'm not your, aggressive person. I'm just a person telling the implications that are there. And I see that Krishna has been placed in such a situation, such an incredible situation. Let's see if we can get a glimpse of. I can't. Let's hope this stays. Okay, Gornitai. Yeah, we've put Krishna in such a situation where it's almost the people that have already tasted it's impossible to get out of their system. Doesn't mean they have to follow it, but it's very difficult to get out of their system. Yeah. And to point a finger, it's the Canaanites. Though they would do that, because that's what they would do. That was their ways. But it was also there in the Babylonians. It's always been. I hope it was helpful. Yeah, I hope this was helpful. some way or other it's helpful to you? Yeah. In this situation, you're like, it's out of our hands. The only thing that isn't out of our hands is like doing something. You can't satisfy children anyways. Even if you're that's impossible. Children, like, they're in their development. You can't satisfy them, but you can try to make them happy in some way. Some way, and look at them and see the situation. Look at them, be thoughtful of the situation. If you propagate this way of thinking, you propagate this energy of thinking, okay, I'm not against anybody, but I love the children, and their innocence, their undeveloped consciousness, and I don't want something to happen to them of this grade, that the children are being put through. Yeah, just those ways. Just those ways. Not just to your children, to any child. Any child. Doesn't mean go out and do all kinds of charities and everything. If you can, it's great, But to have that a clarity of mind to understand the situation. I'll tell you, it doesn't attract me. I gotta admit, I was seeing almost every war report and everything. Anyways, my dad was Air Force, this airplane, that airplane, and this, supersonic, and this is supersonic, and I was seeing them all. But that's not the importance. Importance is spiritual life and everything, and get your own identity up. But the deception it's being given because they want you to take your mind away from that which they're really doing, and how they are planning the harvesting of children. They already have planned. They have planned. They got the kids, in their AI, and they know, and they can track them, and they can see the development. And they can say, oh, this is a very good child for harvesting because he's getting to that point, that last point. We don't want him to get too much into that last point of development of consciousness. We want to grab him now. They're smart. And those who are intoxicated in this way, they will do anything. Anything and everything. They will deceive, lie, and everything just for that pleasure that they think they're getting. So, in that way, you feel a little sorry for them. Remember, this is like, woo! They're looking for the spiritual life. Actually, that's what it is. It's in them. Oh, they're eager to get spiritual life, but they're stealing. They can think that they think that by stealing spiritual life they can get it. That's what it is. It's ironic. It's opposite. They're approaching the whole thing in an opposite way. Oh, well, like I usually say, please push a like and a subscribe and everything. I'm not going to say it, you're my follower, try to look you up and everything and see what happens. No, but these YouTubes and everything, they want to see if you're even interested at all in this talk, and if it at all interests you, and that makes the money I have to pay a little bit lower. So hit subscribe. Don't have to look at all my videos because some of them are a little off. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Just hit subscribe and like and go on in your life. I'm not going to pursue anything, but it makes it cheaper. Yeah, that's the whole point, is to make this cheaper.